Dr. Mashburn again. Hopefully you can hear me. My microphone's not working great today. I want to give you just a short how to pass this class video. Okay, so let me go back to Blackboard real quick. Hang on. Okay, so today drop an ad is over. So it's the first official day of class. You're still in my class. Obviously, it's past drop an ad. So by now you've done your Start Here page. You've taken your syllabus quiz. Let's make this big so everybody can see. So you've done all this, right? So you've done all, and if you haven't, you need to go do it. So obviously, if you're watching the video, your technology is working. You figured out how to take a quiz. You've got your textbook. You should have logged into mastering. Make sure your code works. Make sure you've got the technology to work for mastering. Anything that you need to do as far as making sure that you can test from home or test at the testing center. You've logged into Piazza so that you can ask questions. You've done all this. So now it's time to actually start the class. So if you haven't done so already, it is time to get started, which means you click on Unit 1. And a lot of times, at this point, you're a little overwhelmed. You've looked everywhere. You've been to mastering. You're just like, okay, I'm a little confused on what I'm supposed to do. So just let me go back over it one more time and hopefully explain, how to be successful in the class. The first thing is watch the videos. Okay, don't go do your mastering if you haven't watched the videos. Don't read the textbook. Watch the videos first. Okay, this is where the meat of your class comes from. This is where the exams come from. So watch the videos. So the first thing to do would be to download and copy off your study guide. Copy off your anatomical terms, and make sure that you have those with you so that as you're watching these videos, you can answer those questions. Click on a section and begin. You've got PowerPoints you can download. I would suggest downloading those so that you can take notes while you're doing it. And after you finish a section, go back to the chapter that section is covering and try to answer these questions in your textbook. Now, this is not something to turn in. It's just something to make sure you understand what you're doing. So the answers are in the back of the textbook. So make sure that you're going to your textbook after each section and trying to answer these questions. If you can answer that, it acts like a study guide. That helps you to review your material. You also have review at, let me go back, sorry. In each section, after each video, or most videos, not every video, there's a little review. Those are not required, they're just helpful. So make sure you watch the video. If you're not sure if you understand it, then do the review, or if you want to make sure you understand it, do the review. But again, reviews aren't required, but the videos are required. At the end of each unit, you also have review activities. These are like tests. They have these big L's by them. They're basically chapter tests. So you can take these unit tests over and over and over and see how you're doing. So don't skip those. You want to make sure you do those before you take the exam to see if you're ready. The other thing I want you to make sure that you do is when you're in mastering, log into mastering. I'm going to excuse me. Sorry about that. Go to my study area. So this is these are extra activities. They're not required. But before you take an exam, you have chapter guides, chapter quizzes, practice tests, games. There's all kind of stuff. You can even have a practice lab. Go to practice anatomy lab and play around like you're actually in the laboratory. There's models and things like that. So make sure you're doing this. This is a great place to, these models look just like the ones at our lab. So make sure that you're not only doing the videos, but you're doing some review activities. It seems like a lot of work, but the way I like to explain it to my students in my classroom is, let's imagine that you have never played tennis, ever. So I hand you a tennis racket, I hand you a ball, and I explain to you how to do it. I may even play a game and let you watch me play the game. Okay, so now you have a tennis ball, you have a tennis racket. I've told you how to do it. I've told you how to serve. I've told you how to play. You've watched me play. Now I'd like you to go to Wimbledon. You probably wouldn't do really well. Okay, same thing with this class. You have to practice. So watching the videos, watching me talk, watching the other instructors talk is not exactly the same thing as practicing. So make sure you are practicing. And the best way to practice is take practice tests. So I've got practice tests here for you. There's practice test and mastering. Your study guide is like a practice test. So make sure you're using all the resources that you have to practice learning this information. The other thing about mastering, each question you have more than one chance to get the question right. If you miss it the first time, don't just guess on the second chance. Look at your book, look at your notes. Why did you miss it the first time? What would be the next best answer? So don't just guess. A lot of people go to mastering and I got to get it done. They go click, 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 click till it's done and got nothing out of it. So make sure you're actually trying to figure out why the question's right or why you got the question wrong. Okay? So again, watch the videos, watch the videos, watch the videos. That is the main thing that you have to do. Watch the videos. Mastering is for a grade, and there are a couple of quizzes and things like that. Make sure you do your activities and do your quizzes for your points. But watch those videos. A lot of people will just kind of skip through those, watch them one time, and go do their mastering and think they're done. You may have to watch those videos a couple of times. My students in class have access to exact same videos. They'll see me lecture in class, and then they'll go home and watch the videos to kind of remind themselves what I talked about in class today. So you may have to watch them more than once. All right, guys, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please post in Piazza. That's a great place to ask questions. So if you have a question, more than likely somebody else has the exact same question, so I can tell everybody. If you have a personal question or a question about your grade, you can, of course, message me. But otherwise, post all your questions about content in Piazza, and that way everybody can benefit from from your question. Okay, guys, good luck.